This is TAIFA World Enterprises Ministry. We start off as an enterprise, which means doing business. However, after being on the net for a few months, it determined first I need to raise the level of consciousness of the people. Or let's say the level of consciousness of the people need to be raised. So that's why we became a ministry. Because you have to have the right thinking before you start doing business. Before I start doing business with you, you got to have a level of intelligence in your thinking. So this book, Art of War by Sun Tzu, is how we'll address, how TAIFA World will address this problem. Okay, we're going to read the first page, chapter 2, Waging War. And then we're going to, well, first let me give you an introduction to Art of War. You know, when most people speak of war, when war has gone to the physical level, when it has gone to the physical level of fighting, you know, guns and tanks and missiles, you've already lost. The war I'm speaking of is on the spiritual level. So you won't get to the physical if you win the battle on the spiritual. So each one of us are in spiritual battle. Whether you know it or not, spiritual warfare is taking place. You can find that in the book of Ephesians in the Bible. So we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, unless it's of your own flesh and blood. What's being said is that don't focus on a fight outside of you. Focus on a battle within. And there'll be no fight outside of you. This book is used in businesses around the world because it shows you how to strategize and make tactical decisions. If you watch the movie Sweets with what's her name, the one who became Princess Margaret Merkel, something like that. It shows you how these businesses are using strategic planning to stay and keep power. But the first place it's applied is with themselves. And then it becomes physical. Okay? So let's begin. Waging War, Chapter 2. Sun Tzu said, in the operations of war, where there are in the field 1,000 swift chariots, as many heavy chariots, and 100,000 mail-clad soldiers, with provisions enough to carry them 1,000 li. The expenditure at home and at the front, including entertainment of guests, small items such as glue and paint, and some spent on chariots and armor, will reach the total of 1,000 ounces of silver per day. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men. When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their armor will be, let me read that again. When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, when men's weapons will grow dull and their armor and will be dampened, if you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. Again, if the campaign is prorated, if the campaign is protracted, the resources of the state will not be equal to the strain. Now, when your weapons are dull, your ardor dampened, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent, other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must endure. Let's read that again. Now, when your weapons are dull, your ardor dampened, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent, other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must endure. Thus, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been seen associated with delay. Though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitability way of carrying it on. Okay, look like I have disabled my chat. I got to figure out how I'm doing that so I can correct it. I come on here to really get the people's opinion. So I don't want my chat disabled. No, that's not what I want. Okay. Okay, hi there. Thank you, lady boy. Thanks for coming in. I wanted to see if I had an audience before I really began. Now, it looked like I may have to want to go over what I just read again, since some just came in. Black Sam, you are more. We all are Moors. We all are Moors. There's melanated and unmelanated. You need to really do your study to understand that. But if you're not black, I'm gonna tell you right now, Sam, you're not black. And when you call yourself black, you're dishonoring your creator. Black means death in science. And in law, it means without any standing in law. So when you give a description, when you allow people to describe your complexion, you're denying your ancestors, because your ancestors didn't call themselves black, Negro, colored, African American. These names was given to you. Oh boy, you really got me started now. These names was given to you because you didn't know who you were. When you know who you are, you don't allow somebody else to name you. Yes. See, that's where the work come in on your part. You have to study your ancestry and know who you are. Then when somebody else say, "Oh, you're black," you say, "No, bro, that's not my ancestry. You African American? No, no, that's not me. I know who I am." But when you don't know because the knowledge has been hidden from you, you accept what somebody else brings you. It's very important to trace your ancestry. Uh, now, okay, I can understand the worship of blackness, but let's call it other names besides black. Let's call it the ether. Okay, let's call it uh, the ether is one name. You can call it the original people. Because the European has given black a negative image, and you're not going to change that negative image by using it in this day and time. So you're much more than a color. That's the points being made. Don't worship a color. Worship your roots, your essence of who you are, which is divinity. And you're going to limit divinity to a color? Nope. Shouldn't do that. That should not be done. These are my reading glasses. I just got the reading Art of War. So I think I'll go back over it and see if I can get some comments on what's been read. Art of War by Sun Tzu. This book is used in businesses, you know, in all type of organizations. People use this book because they are in a battle and they want to win. They want to get power. They want to have influence. There's always political influence, power among the people. So this book is recommended. Okay. So I'm starting at I've already read one page of chapter 2. Let me go to the other page. Waging war. And thank those coming in. I see you. I will answer your questions after I read. I think I read this page, and then we get into your comments and questions. The skillful soldier does not raise a second levy. Neither are his supply wagons loaded more than twice. Bring war material with you from home for forage on the enemy. Thus the army will have enough for its need, enough food for its needs. Poverty of the state, a check causes an army to be maintained by contributions from a distance. Contributing to maintain an army at a distance causes the people to be impoverished. On the other hand, the proximity of an army causes prices to go up, and high prices cause the people's substance to be drained away. When their substance is drained away, the peasantry will be affected by heavy exaction. With the loss of substance and exhaustion of strength, the home of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be dissipated, while government expense for broken chariots, worn out horses, breastplates and helmets, bows and arrows, spears and shields, protective mantles, draught iron, draught oxen, and heavy wagons will amount to 4/10 of a total revenue. Hence, a wise general makes a point of foraging on the enemy. One's one carload of the enemy provision is equivalent to 20 of one's own. And likewise, a single pitiful of, excuse me, I gotta put my reading glasses on. All right, this much better. With the loss of substance and exhaustion of his strength, the homes of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be dissipated, while government expenses for broken chariots, worn out horses, breastplates and helmets, bows and arrows, spears and shears, protective mantles, draw iron, and heavy wagons will amount to 4/10 of its total revenue. Hence, a wise general makes a point of foraging on the enemy. One cartload of the enemy's provisions is equivalent to 20 of one's own, and likewise a single picul of his provisions is equivalent to 20 from one's own store. Now, in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger, that there may be advantages from defeating his enemy. They must have their reward. Therefore, in chariot fighting, when 10 or more chariots have been taken, those should be rewarded who took the first. Our own flags should be substituted for those of the enemy, and the chariots mingled and used in conjunction with ours. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. This is called using the conquer foes to a argument of one's own strength. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. Thus, it may be known that the leader of armies in the arbiter of the people's fate, the man of whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. Okay, that was the waging war. We got the first 2 pages. Oh, that's the end of it. Okay, we completed chapter 2. As I said, the war is with self. You know, there's 2 of us. You have a lower self and a higher self. The higher self have high ideas, wonderful thoughts. It does wonderful things. The lower self brings you down. You become personalized. You look at the person. You start judging other people because they don't think like you. There's no love. There's only hate. So you got to put that in check. You got to can't nobody else check you but you. So this is augmented to highlight that war that's taking place every day, every moment until you put it in check. Don't worry about the enemy outside you. The enemy is within that you got to fight every day. Okay? So I've been here for, wow, almost 20 minutes. Let me see if I got some comments, because I don't usually stay over 20 minutes. Got any questions? Okay, answer that one. Somebody asked questions, and then they got all the answers. You got issues, brother. I'm not the enemy. You asked the question I asked, and now you're going to debate with me on it? You can't debate with what another man says. Well, you can debate what he says, but not what he is. I know who I am, and I may have a little more experience being who I am than you are. So you got to put in check that that hostility you got because somebody thinks different than you. That is not divine. You got to put that in check. Okay. Hey, how you doing, baseball player? That's a good way to start is greeting somebody. You know, that's intelligence. If you don't greet me, I say, well, you just come to people and start talking to them. People do that to me all the time. I just look at them. I don't say nothing. I think they lost their mind because you don't know. Even if I speak your language, you don't know. I don't see nothing that why you would want to just come to me and start talking. I'm suspect that you up to something. So I'm watching you very closely. I'm not saying nothing. I'm watching you. That's not the way we do. At least if you want to talk to somebody, you start off with a conversation. Okay. So any comments on the art of war I talked about? Detroit, man, you need to go to a church. This is not church. Or start your own church channel. What has that Bible done for you? 400 years and you're still a slave. Sick. Sad. It's really sad. You believe what this man tells you about God? What about your own God? Your ancestral God? Don't you think there'd be more help to you? Look what his God's got him doing now. Got him fighting a war. Maybe the end of wars. Total annihilation. And you're gonna preach that gospel? It ain't did him no good. Okay, well, I don't see any questions from Art of War. And that's why we're a ministry, because what I really want to speak about, how to assist my people out of their situation, you got to get your mind straight first. If your mind ain't right, you can't even hear what's being said. So I want to thank those of you who came in. Appreciate your company. And like I said, TAIFA World, I have to go by the spirit. I comes on all times of day and night. No schedule. I go by the spirit. So if I catch you at a good time, good. If it's not a good time for you when I come on, that's good too. Because maybe it was not for you. The message not for you. But I am calling out the people who knows how to, stream things on the internet because I want to make this channel more modern, more. In other words, where you can show pictures of things, and I guess like everything in life, you got to figure it out for yourself. But if someone has that knowledge of how to actually create your channel to be more modern, then I'd gladly compensate you for that. I don't expect you to just do it for nothing. Now I can figure it out, but it's going to take me time, and time is worth money. So if you want to assist me, that just let me know your fees, and that you're an honorable person, and I compensate you for helping me get my channel up. This channel is not really up. I'm talking about being on TikTok, being on Facebook. You know, there's channels that have beautiful introductions. You can stream what you're talking about so people can really get an idea that, oh, that man is like, it's like a real channel like you see on TV. They have commercials, they have visuals where you can actually see what's being shared. So that's it. We're gonna sign off for now. Peace, Moors. Never give up. Never give in. Fight, fight until the end.